Across this nation, hard work builds more than products. It builds America's future. From factory floors to small town shops to some of the most technologically advanced companies you can imagine, investing in America is what these conversations are all about. We're going to celebrate the companies and business leaders who believe in this country and in the working families who make it great. This is Investing in America. Welcome to episode 2 of our Investing in America series, where we're bringing you conversations with leaders who are helping build the future of our country by investing in America, investing in American workers. Today, we have a great conversation with Stacey Kennedy, who is the CEO of Phillip Morris International, or PMI. And you know PMI because they make ZYN, Zyn, those ubiquitous nicotine pouches that seem to be everywhere. Now, PMI has a long history of investing in America, but they are in hyperdrive right now, from nearly $1 billion in new investments in Kentucky and Colorado to the nearly 1,500 new jobs for the American workers. Their impact is quite clear. Let's hear a little bit from the experts over at PMI on just what they're doing.
Authorities and politicians and regulators, they have the opportunity to influence the consumer choice.
If we just expect the 1 billion smokers on the planet to just stop, history over the past decades has told us that's simply not going to happen.
If we continue with that policy, the only thing which we will achieve is that we will extend the life of cigarettes in the market for decades, not for the years, for decades.
People think, well, all the policies we put in place that have got us here, they will be fine for the future. But actually, there's a better way.
Now, in our conversation, Kennedy shares about PMI's mission to achieve a smoke-free future and the innovative products and technology that are making it possible. Not only is PMI helping improve public health as a technology company, but they're doing a lot of myth-busting to help the FDA and public health officials focus on the right things. So thanks again to Stacey Kennedy of PMI for taking some time to chat with us here on The Scott Jennings Show. Let's get right to our conversation and hear about how PMI, Phillip Morris International, is investing in America. Well, Stacey, thanks for joining us here on the Scott Jennings Show in our Investing in America series. Tell us a little bit about Phillip Morris International. You consider the company to be more than just a manufacturer. You consider your mission to be part of the company's overall investment in America, which is quite substantial. I want you to tell me about that. What is the mission of PMI? And then also, what products does PMI sell in the United States?
Well, first, thanks for having me, Scott. I'm really delighted to be here. And I think this is an important topic at this moment in time to be talking about companies that are invested in America. Phillip Morris International may have international in our name, but we are an American company, first and foremost, and at heart. And so our business, our purpose and mission is to provide products, choices to consumers that are better for them and better for public health than continued smoking. Smoke and combusted cigarettes is what causes the significant health effects and the harmful diseases that affect so many. 30 million Americans smoke, Scott. And so we are showing up in America with products that are FDA authorized, such as IQOS and Zyn, that help smokers put cigarettes away forever by switching to a better product.
You know what's interesting, and I think a lot of people probably don't know this, but there is a difference between Phillip Morris and Phillip Morris International, and also PMI, Phillip Morris International, which you run in the United States, has never actually sold cigarettes in the States. Isn't that right?
That is absolutely correct. It's a little hard to explain our naming convention, but Phillip Morris International operates in about 180 countries outside the United States. And we only entered the United States for the first time about 2.5 years ago with the acquisition of Swedish Match, which is the maker of Zyn. And we're bringing IQOS, which is our heated tobacco product that's sold in so many countries around the world, to Americans to give them more choice in how they can put cigarettes behind them and switch to a better alternative. So we're really pleased that we're an American company that's invested in America and bringing new jobs and investment to communities across America as we build out our manufacturing facilities.
Yeah, I think the story of Zyn and how Phillip Morris International came to acquire Zen and how that came together. That's how I think a lot of people know PMI, whether they know it or not. It's through the Zen product, but it's made in Owensboro, Kentucky, and PMI acquired this a couple of years ago. And is that your biggest product in the United States?
Zen is not only our biggest product in the United States, but Zen is America's #1 smoke-free brand. That's really important because it's talking about how many people have been able to stop smoking, reduce their smoking, or switch from dipping to a better choice, which is Zen. So we're really proud of it, and we're really proud, Scott, that it's made right there in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah, there's a lot of great folks down there in West Kentucky that have been part of that Zen story for a long time. But beyond just the story of the workforce in Kentucky and beyond PMI's involvement in it, it's really a story about moving America past tobacco and past cigarettes and to a smoke-free future. I mean, it's really sort of a commitment to improving public health is what you all have done by acquiring Zen.
Absolutely. And it's so interesting that Philip Morris International started this journey more than a decade ago with our heated tobacco product, IQOS. Swedish Match started the same journey with nicotine pouches, which originated from snus in Sweden. And when you put the two companies together, it's a perfect complement because we know that not one product is going to satisfy every smoker. There are 30 million men and women in America who still smoke cigarettes today, and not one solution is going to work from everybody. So that's why we think the powerhouse brands of IQOS and Zen together are great complements, and it's going to provide solution for millions.
So you have these physical investments in factories in the United States. You have all these employees in the United States. Tell me about what else PMI is doing right now to invest in America. I mean, you guys are long on America right now. You're all in.
We are all in, and we've doubled down on our investments in America. You're right. It starts with the almost $1 billion that we've invested in factory expansions, building a new factory in Colorado. It's about the 1,000 jobs that we've added in the past year. But it's much more than that. It's also about investing in communities. So we really believe very deeply that we should show up for Americans in the communities where we live and work. We support organizations that first and foremost are committed to supporting our military veterans and military spouses. These are men and women who've put their lives on the line for each and every one of us, Scott. And we need to make sure that we serve those who served. We also support economic empowerment in communities, making sure that micro entrepreneurs have a start in life to be able to. It's entrepreneurship that I think is part of the great American dream. So we're providing opportunities for so many thousands of Americans throughout all the communities, as well as supporting natural disasters. I think that really is what it means to show up for America and Americans, and we're all in.
Talk to me about PMI's footprint all over the country. I know you've made some announcements lately on investing in your facilities and expansions and hiring more people. Kind of give us an idea. What do we have going on with PMI all over the United States, and what do these new investments look like as we move into the future?
Well, it starts right there in Kentucky with our Owensboro facility. I tell you, Scott, we have built out every square foot of that facility. We hired more than 450 men and women in the great Owensboro area to be able to come in and help us to expand all of our manufacturing facility. We've built from groundbreaking to first production off the line in Aurora, Colorado, another Zen facility. We have Wilson, North Carolina, where we are manufacturing the consumables for IQOS. We have our headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, and we've got men and women all across the great United States in our sales organization and various support services. We're just so proud of that.
Yeah, I think you all have announced $800 million in new and expanded facilities in recent months, and that's $232 million in Owensboro, $600 million at that place in Aurora, Colorado you mentioned. I mean, it is a significant investment. Tell me, regarding the current policy environment in the United States, does this have anything to do with the president's tariff policy? And kind of give me your impression of the overall economic environment for companies like yours right now.
Look, we are absolutely unrelentless in our optimism for America and Americans' future. I do think this is a great investment climate. We believe deeply in make it where you sell it. We're showing up in America for public health and for choice for Americans, and we want to make our products here at home. We don't just make our products here at home, but we buy all sorts of raw materials and consumable parts in America that we ship all around the world to our factories in other countries, so that there are American raw materials in all of those products. And so we just believe very deeply that the high quality of American produced goods is also going to be great for export out of the United States, which is pretty rare for a consumer products company in the US right now.
All right, talk to me about the products just for a moment. I think everybody knows what Zen is. It's the most popular and well-known thing. I think fewer people know what IQOS is, IQOS. This is the new product, and it's really, I think I heard you once describe PMI as a technology company, and it's really a piece of technology, and I think more prevalent overseas, but coming to the U.S. market. What is IQOS? What does it look like, and what does it do?
Well, IQOS is the world's greatest smoke-free product. It is technology, it is science, but it's also loved by consumers. IQOS has the world over the highest rate of helping smokers put cigarettes away forever. More than 70% of consumers around the world who try IQOS for more than a week are able to stop smoking forever by switching to IQOS. What it is it's real tobacco rolled in paper that goes into a heating device. So it's heated tobacco. IQOS heats the tobacco, but at below the level of combustion. So it doesn't light it on fire, but it heats it through a technology that allows the nicotine to be released. And it actually gives a very similar experience to smoking, but without the smoke, because there's no combustion, which reduces significantly the harmful chemicals that's found in smoke. So
it's an amazing thing.
Brilliant.
It's really incredible when you have this device and it gives a smoker the same kind of sensation, but you sort of have taken away all the bad parts that we associated with cigarette smokers. And so this is moving into the U.S. market. Are you seeing a significant uptake of this?
Well, we are. We're starting small because we are waiting on the authorization from the FDA of our latest version of IQOS, which is called Illuma. That product we will scale across America as soon as we get that authorization. But our early indications of IQOS with Americans, we're in places like Austin, Texas, and we've had what I call our first love letter from consumers. The first love letters are their own personal stories from a woman who smoked for 30 years. And she said, for the first time in my life, I've been able to put the pack of cigarettes away forever. My grandkids say that I don't smell like smoke anymore. I feel so much better. The powerful stories of their families and what this has meant for their families, it's really heartwarming. And so that's what we're here to do. We're here to make life better for Americans, helping them to do something that's been really hard and that they haven't been able to do another way.
Yeah, it's pretty miraculous when people think of the name Philip Morris, and in this case, Philip Morris International. They're probably surprised to hear that you all are the international and U.S. leader in moving us towards a smoke-free future. But products like Zen and IQOS are exactly how you're doing it. Our guest today on the Scott Jennings Show is Stacey Kennedy. She is the North American CEO for Philip Morris International, and we're having a great conversation about how PMI is investing in America. Stay with us. More with Stacey here on the Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network. It's the Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network. We are in our Investing in America interview series. This is number 2 in our series where we're talking to CEOs and business leaders in the United States about how their companies are investing in America, investing in American workers, and investing in America's future. Our guest today is Stacey Kennedy, who is the CEO of Philip Morris International in the United States. Stacey, thank you again for joining us today. It's kind of fascinating that PMI is, we don't think of PMI or Philip Morris or that brand as being smoke-free, but that's exactly what you're doing. You're building a smoke-free future with your products. And you are also, I think, your scientists and your technical people are also dispelling a lot of misconceptions about nicotine and what actually causes cancer and what doesn't. You all recently released a survey showing that a surprisingly large number of medical professionals in the United States don't even understand that nicotine does not cause cancer. It's other things that had to do with cigarette smoking. I saw that a Dr. Michael Siegel, who's at Tufts University, he weighed in on it with some strong criticism for the lack of support that tobacco harm reduction has received in mainstream public health. I want to get your comments on that. Are you getting support from the public health community for the kinds of products that you all are doing? Because there's no doubt these products are in the best interest of the public health. And then also talk to me about the FDA's role in all of this.
Thanks for having me, Scott. That's a great question because, look, I do think that we are getting some tremendous support from public health agencies. And it starts with the FDA because the FDA has authorized Zyn as the first and so far only nicotine pouch in America that has been authorized in the interest of protecting the public health. And that's really important because it's a very, very high bar and high standard to meet. And look, we did do a survey because we really wanted to understand how many doctors and how much of the general public actually understand what causes the harm from smoking combusted cigarettes and what is misunderstood about nicotine. And here, look, Scott, I don't blame doctors because the vast majority of studies done on nicotine historically were done from combusted cigarettes. But now science is very clear. The harm from smoking comes from lighting a cigarette on fire at the end and inhaling smoke, which contains toxic chemicals. And the harm from cigarettes comes from that smoke. If you enjoy nicotine in absence of smoke, the studies on nicotine show that it is not a carcinogen. It doesn't cause cancer. It's not risk-free, but nicotine is not what causes the vast harm from smoking cigarettes. And so I think that the public health agencies like the FDA, CDC, Surgeon Generals, all under the remit of the Health and Human Services Secretary, have an obligation to be able to inform doctors so that they can share with their patients and the general public what causes the harm from smoking cigarettes, and that's the smoke, not nicotine.
So I want to wrap up our interview today, Stacey, and thank you again for all of your time today. This is the Investing in America series, and of course, you can't invest in America without investing in American workers. You've done quite a bit of hiring lately. How many employees total do you have in the United States and with your recent hires? And kind of give me an idea, what's it been like to hire people? How's the job market out there for the kinds of folks you need to bring into the company?
Scott, I have such optimism about the American workforce. We've just had a terrific experience in the past 2.5 years with hiring really skilled workers and providing them even more high-skilled training. We've doubled our workforce in the past 2.5 years here in the United States since we acquired Swedish Match and entered with our other products from PMI. And so I think that's the very definition of being invested in America. We're showing up for Americans when it comes to public health. We're showing up for American men and women who smoke with better choices. And we're showing up providing great jobs. And our employees are so honored to be a part of a very important mission in America.
Stacey Kennedy is the CEO of Phillip Morris International, having taken on the role of president and CEO of PMI's U.S. business. In January 2023, they are leading us into a smoke-free future with their products, Zyn and ICO. Stacey, thank you, and thank you for being a business leader who is investing in America.
Thank you, Scott.
And thanks again to Stacey Kennedy. What a great conversation. We're so glad to highlight these companies that are investing in America. And we're grateful.